Good morning, lovelies. ZoëTwoDots here with some more Pokemon Go goodness for you. And today we're going to be jumping into a little bit of a prep guide for the Hoenn tour event. William, you just ruined my joke. I was about to make a joke about being on the edge of my seats. Now I can sit comfortably, I guess. Thanks, mate. So, cheeky little prep guide for you guys, maybe some little bits and pieces you might have forgotten to get ready for the Hoenn tour event, both the Vegas one and the global. For the most part, they are fairly similar, excluding some special research and research tasks type things, but the overall tips and tricks are going to help you for both. I will leave a link down below to LeakDuck's website. They have done an excellent little write-up in comparison for both. So if you're attending both or just one of them, whatever it might be, there'll be some really itemized, like exact bonuses and things, because there was stuff that I had forgotten. There was things that I added later on. Those will all be listed there if you want to have another comprehensive read through everything. So first things first, my personal favorite current thing to do is just to sit down for like an hour and count through every single Pokemon and its typing in a generation to figure out which is the best mega evolution for you to do, just to get bulk extra candy. Maybe you want to focus on raids and, you know, super effective moves and stuff like that. But what I have done for you is done that. I have itemized every single individual Pokemon by their typing and figured out which is going to be the best mega evolution to mega evolve. You're going to be seeing two numbers here next to each of the example Pokemon. Basically, I went through and did every single Pokemon, including evolutions. I also included the raid bosses and Unknown as well, even though Unknown isn't technically a Hoenn Pokemon. It's going to be spawning for the event. The first number is each individual Pokemon, including evolutions. Now, keep in mind there is a chance that evolved Pokemon may not be in the wild. They may not be catchable at all, so this could be entirely irrelevant. The second number that you're seeing there is just the base Pokemon, including, you know, the legendaries for raids. For example, for psychic types, you could have Ralts, Kirlia, and Gardevoir. That would be three things included in that first number. I've just whittled it down to Ralts for the second number. So depending on what we actually see for maybe the Vegas event, if we actually see that there are fully evolved Pokemon in the wild, you can make your guesses based off that. So if we see in the Vegas event that there are fully evolved things popping in the wild, this might influence your choice. The difference in numbers isn't that big, so don't stress too hard. And the first and always correct answer for which Pokemon you should mega evolve is whichever one you want, honestly. Everyone's gonna have unique specific goals. If you're someone who's just absolutely chasing, you know, Ralts candy, mega evolve something that is a psychic or a fairy. Don't worry about the crossover and things like that. You know, do what's best for you. If you have a really niche thing that you're trying to hunt and get more candy for, do that. However, if you just want bulk coverage, these are your top choices. First one off by a wide margin is Mega Slowbro, Psychic and Water type. As is tradition, Water types are making up a bulk of the stuff. Psychic types as well are going to be a lot of things for the Hoenn event. And that is only counting Unknown once and Deoxys once. I didn't count the variations there. So Mega Slowbro covering either 50 or 25 unique Pokemon. Next up would be Swampert with Water Ground coverage. After that, Gyarados for Water Dark. For the first time, I'm actually seeing a fair few Dark type Pokemon in a generation. The previous Go Tour events, there was like 1 Dark Pokemon. After that, Pidgeot with Normal and Flying. Either Mega Latios or Latias for Dragon and Psychic coverage. Plain Blastoise for Plain Water, or Plain Mega Blastoise, Vanilla Water. And then lastly will be a new one they're actually getting for the Valentine's event, which is Gardevoir with Psychic and Fairy coverage. A few things to keep in mind for what you mega evolve. I'm probably going to be sticking towards the Slowbro on the Psychic side of things, because that Psychic will have coverage for catching your Jirachi if you're doing that special research, extra candy because you have the Mega turned on. Steel doesn't make too much of a feature in this event, so I'd really recommend having a Psychic on for catching that. Plus then you'll be getting the extra candies for the Unknown and the Deoxys if that's something that you're doing. If you don't care about those and you just really want something for raiding, keep in mind that Kyogre and Groudon are both weak to grass, so if you want to kind of save on doing multiple, you know, evolutions and things like that, you could mega evolve a grass type. And in terms of like wild grass types, they don't feature too much further down the list of, you know, good things to mega. And lastly, to factor in for your mega evolutions, start mega evolving now. Don't forget that once you have mega evolved once, you can mega evolve for free going forward. It just has a timer cooldown, but the higher level your mega Pokemon is, like its mega level, the more resources you're going to get. So if you're deciding between, you know, your Mega Slowbro or your Mega Latias, but your Latias is fully maxed out mega, that's probably going to be the better choice to get for getting just bulk returns on candies, XL candies, and those extra boosts for catching matching types. At the end of the day, just make sure you have something on and megaed. As of this video going out as well, the only remaining shinies for the Hoenn, you know, generation are Surskit, Masquerain, Gulpin, Swalot, Cacnea, Cacturn, Kecleon, Tropius, Relicanth, Torkoal, and Jirachi. Keep in mind, those 3 regionals, Torkoal, Relicanth, and Tropius, are only going to be in 10-kilometer eggs. Now they have confirmed that 10-kilometer eggs are going to drop more frequently, plus we have got the half egg incubation distance, so they're essentially going to be down to 5 kilometers. But I have double checked, I have asked Niantic if they would be in the wild or on incense or things like that, because I know in the past we had things on incense. They've basically said 10k eggs. I haven't gotten confirmation on whether or not they're going to be in any of the special research or, you know, the collection challenges sometimes reward encounters. I have no clue on that, but at the very least we know that it is like 99.9% going to be only 10-kilometer eggs. So what you're going to want to do is, I would highly recommend before the Hoenn Tour weekend, you stack up as best you can your storage with 2-kilometer eggs. Essentially use your free incubator, use whatever incubators you got to clear out those 10Ks, your 7Ks, your 12Ks, whatever it is, just leave them out and pray for 2Ks so that you've got a bag full of 2Ks when the event starts, or, you know, the night before. Get them incubated, get them popping the morning of, and then be better than me. Do not touch, do not spin anything until the event starts. Once the event's on and you're picking up those eggs, happy days. As long as you pick up the eggs during the event, you can hatch them 10 years from now and they will still be what they were, you know, assigned at collection. Basically, the species and the shininess of your Pokemon is determined when you spin that Pokestop and get the egg. So at the very least, even if you're someone who cannot feasibly walk the 5 kilometers or multiple times, if you're a free-to-play player, and if they're not giving out premium items as part of this weekend, like free incubators and stuff like that, if you've only got that one and you can't walk 15 kilometers in one day, one weekend, fair. As long as you have picked up the eggs, you can hatch them later. Keep in mind, you can always trade in the future, but that's kind of like the best tip I can give to you. If it's just really not feasible for you to be able to do these eggs, at least have the space there to pick them up on the day. Next up, for the Hoenn Tour, we're gonna have to pick between the Ruby and the Sapphire badge, the Groudon and the Kyogre badge, basically. Essentially, each hour is gonna be rotating boosts to Pokemon. It's really vague on like, hey, if we get the boost, it's gonna be this, but I'm like, what if the other team gets the boost? Do we not get a boost on our team? Essentially competing per hour, the most research tasks done per team is going to decide, you know, hey, it's Groudon hour, it's Kyogre hour, woo, woo, Vuvuzella's in the background. So pick your team. What gets affected is pretty minor. There's only a couple of things per team, so don't stress too hard. But for Team Kyogre, your like increased Pokemon you're going to see are Minun, woohoo, Ilamise, Wailmer, Lunatone, and the wet cast form, dampness cast form can be shiny. So I feel like the main deciding factor here is the cast form variation. And for Team Groudon, you're gonna have Plusle, Volbeat, Trapinch, Solrock, and Spicy cast form. Those are the things that are gonna be boosted in that subsequent time window after the challenge is completed, I believe. I don't know if you're gonna see these just in the wild in general as well, but my assumption would be yes, unless I just totally misread this thing. Other things to keep an eye out for are the new costumed Pikachu, so Pikachu with Brendan's hat and Pikachu with May's hat. Now jumping into the shiny boost, keep in mind that so far they have only specified a shiny boosted rate for the Vegas in-person event. Only for ticket holders that are playing in Vegas confirmed having a shiny boosted rate. There's been no comment on that for the global Hoenn Tour. So that's either going to mean that there just isn't a shiny boost at all for Hoenn Tour, or perhaps that things are getting released with what they will have for their shiny rate going forward. So say for example, Pokemon like Cypher and what else is a booster? Alolan Sandshrew. Those are Pokemon that are always shiny boosted. I think they're both the 1 in 70 shiny rate. It could just be that what we get for the Hoenn Tour is, hey, some of these Pokemon are going to have their shiny rates adjusted to, you know, they're boosted, they're not boosted, they're full odds. We don't know. They haven't specified, which makes me just think that there isn't going to be necessarily a big spicy boost. So honestly, if that ends up being the case, I'll let you know as soon as I know. I'll be in New Zealand, so almost the first possible time zone for it. If that ends up being the case, honestly, there's not a lot we can do, I guess, by, oh, this sucks and complaining in terms of changing the event as it stands. Maybe going forward it will change something, but if that's the case, just have a good day with the people that you're out and about with. If it's like, oh, it's 3 hours in and no one's got a shiny, rather than simmering on that frustration, which I've been there before. I've been simmering on a boosted event where I've just been not getting any shinies, and it makes the day suck. If at that point it is just not boosted, just have a good time with your mates. Go out, do some raids, get your Primal Kyogre Groudon, have a good time, get some lunch, take it chill. Do some trades. Don't let it like ruin your day sort of vibe, because at that point you can't change it, we can't change it. So just try and have a good time. Hopefully there's some sort of spicy boost. Hopefully we'll have a fantastic time regardless. Fingers crossed. Next up, a little tip for Kecleon. This is gonna be a bit of a hard one to balance, I think, because using the Go Plus to either catch or get your items is a great way to kind of like stay on top of things on busy days, busy event days. However, at the moment, the way that Kecleon works, if it's hanging on a Pokestop and your Go Plus is on and it spins that stop, it will spin the stop and kind of temporarily, you know, turn off the Kecleon. It doesn't, you know, despawn it, but you have to sit there and then wait for that 5 minutes to return back on the stop to be spun. You'll see Kecleon again, you can tap its little booty, it'll jump off sort of thing. But if you have the Go Plus on at the moment, it essentially activates the Pokestop, which confuses the Kecleon, and you can't interact with it until it's ready to spin again. Considering it's gonna be a new shiny and it's gonna be definitely when you have to chase from Pokestop to Pokestop, don't know how boosted it's gonna be, if at all. This might be an event where you're kind of alternating turning your Go Plus on and off, or just having it off entirely for spins, which for me is annoying because I usually always have it on at least for spins. So I'm always, you know, getting resources in the background, but this is just gonna be something to factor in if you are a heavy Go Plus user, that it might be impacting your Kecleon hunt. Keep that in mind. Next up, we've got it confirmed that the Pokemon storage is going to be we're getting an increase in Pokemon storage and item storage. Wow, Zoe, are we gonna, all our dreams are gonna be answered, our prayers, so much storage space it's gonna be, it's 50. Both are being increased by 50. So yay, look, it's better than a kick in the pants, but it's not a lot. If your Pokemon storage is already maxed out at like 6,200 and you're having storage issues, I'm gonna need you to transfer some stuff. Valentine's event, extra transfers. Hopefully this video goes some time for you to do that. But hello, sir. Come on. Thank you. You need to make some space, my guy. Otherwise, happy days, bit of extra storage, bit of extra item storage, and one chunky guy in your lap. Hello, sir. Next up, how many balls should you stock up on? I feel like it's a pretty hard, I know like some people be like, yeah, you should have this many spaces and this many balls to catch this many things. Everyone's storage is gonna be different. I think as maybe a general bit of advice here, probably 1/5, I feel like is probably a safe-ish number. 1/5 of your storage. So if you have only 500 storage, keep 100 spaces free sort of vibe. If you have 1,000 storage, keep 200 spaces free. And scale it as you go up sort of thing. That may not be achievable for everyone, but you're gonna be catching a lot more than what you think, more than likely. If you're trying to prioritize, you know, catching, raiding, trading, hatching, you don't have time to sit down and do a storage clear out. If you need some tips on clearing out your storage, if you're getting stuck on like, I'm always tidying every week, but it's not getting, you know, any better, I have got several videos on storage maintenance. I will link them up here and down below as well. Do a tidy out and probably have more spaces than you think you need, because you don't want to have to be like, oh, finally, there's some Kecleon, I'm gonna shiny check this Kecleon. Oh, your bag storage is full. Sucked in. Now you gotta do some transfers. What if it despawns? Don't deal with the hassle, just kind of get prepped in advance. In terms of balls and resources and stuff, more than what you think you need as well. Go and do a lap the week before, stock up on items. Again, you could always be deleting items on the day if you really need, but it's probably better to have more than what you think you're gonna need, because if you are catching, quick catching, you're gonna go through those pretty quickly. I know for myself as well, I'm really overdue on doing a stock up, restock for Ultra Balls. My Ultra Balls got decimated during, I don't know what, a Chespin Comp Day or something, or the event with Dratini and Noibat and stuff. I just used so many Ultra Balls for whatever reason. I need to do a stock up. So I need to go and spin and not use those until the Hoenn Tour personally. Lastly, especially if you're someone who is a free to play player, I'd highly recommend going through any of your special research, unclaimed special research, or even if there's just a few things more to tick off. You may have some premium items hiding in there. Sometimes in special research, we get things like free raid passes or egg incubators and stuff like that. Go through and check. Have you got something that's been unclaimed that you've been sitting on? Maybe you're gonna do a lucky egg for the XP, whatever else. Go through and see if you have any premium items just sitting there. If you're someone who's ever used the referral code system as well, go and check through your friend referrals if there's any items for you to claim. Maybe let that person know if they're a friend of yours or a parent or something. Hey, mum, finish these objectives so I can get some free incubators and stuff like that. Good source of some extra premium items to use on the day. Next up is the classic, the IRL tip. Hello, sir. That's a beefy purr. The real life tips, as is tradition. If you're new here, sunscreen. Don't make me say it twice. I don't care if it's winter. UV doesn't turn off in winter. Protect your neck. All of the usual IRL tips. Pack your bag the night before. Have you plugged in your charger? Take 2 cables instead of 1, because if one breaks, you have to go and go charge my battery, blah, 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 blah. Multiple charging cables. Get your power packs on, get your Go Plus charged up, spare batteries for your Go Plus if you need to. Pack a sandwich, make a booking for lunch, make a reservation in advance so you don't have to cook something for yourself. Hydration, get your water put aside, all that good stuff. I've said this 1,000 times before. I have asked you guys on plenty of occasions, have you ever compromised your personal health and safety, whether that be getting dehydrated, not eating, walking too much, getting sunburned during one of these event days? And the majority of you said yes. In some capacity, you had somehow, some way skipped one or all of those things. Prep in advance, make it a good time. No one's gonna have fun if they've got heat stroke or if they're freezing their little fingertippies off. Always a hot tip for anyone that is experiencing the summer months, baby wipes. Baby wipes for the sunscreen on your phone screen. It's gross. Just get the baby wipes and ta-da, happy days. And for those of you that are suffering through the freezing months, get your little hand warmers out, stay snug, please do not injure yourself or others. Don't injure yourself or others. That's a hot tip. If you have any fantastic IRL tips or in-game tips as well, leave a comment down below for everyone. I'm gonna leave a heart on all of my favorite tips, as is tradition. I've linked down below to the Leak Duck website. There's a bunch of extra bonuses happening, at least for the Vegas event that we know of. Things like the half hatch distance, the 6 special trades, decreased Stardust costs. There's gonna be more Team Go Rocket balloons, which I don't know why you'd want more Team Go Rocket balloons for these events. That's like the #1 most annoying thing is, maybe the balloons will be less annoying, but trying to shiny check something on the map and then there's like a Team Go Rocket grunt in the way and you can't tap on the Corsola that you're trying to check a frickin' 300 of. And the grunt's just like, would you like to fight my rat? And you're like, no, get out of the way. I want the Corsola, thank you. That's like so I don't know why they put more of those in. Maybe it'll be a good time. We'll see, but it's a whole bunch of extra bonuses. I'll link to that down below for you to read through. Again, for more than likely, I think we've got confirmed, is there the extra special trades on the global event as well? Pick in advance. Message your friends, who you're lucky with, whoever it might be. Lock in your trades in advance so you know what you want to swap. Maybe you want to swap something new. Maybe you and your friend are both going to try and get shiny Gulpin or shiny Kecleon and lucky trade those. Kind of plan it in advance. Don't forget as well, there are some extra bonuses for the Vegas event if you purchased the Raid Lover and or Enthusiast stuff. Those stack on top, so maybe just do a little read and refresh so that you know exactly what your bonuses are for the event. Long story short, have a good time, have a fun time. And again, if it turns out for the global that there isn't a big spicy shiny boost, we're gonna find out on the day. And it's too late to change it at that point, unless it's broken and they can fix it really quickly. But if it turns out to be rubbish for the shiny rate, just have a good time with, you know, the real shinies with the friends we made along the way. And then we'll complain about it later on, okay? As always, lovelies, thank you so much for watching. If you are new, please be sure to subscribe. Thank you to everyone who did leave a like as well. And if you'd like additional ways to support the channel, links for Patreon and the merch are in the description down below. I hope you're having a wonderful morning, noon, night, whatever time it is for you. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.